Hi everyone, my name is Paula Shaw and welcome to the monthly astrology snapshot for the lunar month, which will begin at the new moon, which is at 23 degrees of Leo, and this will be happening on the 16th of August everywhere in the world. So I do these every month to give you guys a sense of the general themes, and this is in context of the greater planetary cycles that are playing out and the new moon and the full moon, which is why I always start this at the beginning of the lunar month, which always starts at the new moon. So this lunar month has this feeling of getting real. You know, it's like a healthy reality check. However, it could have a feeling of heaviness. But if you really embrace the energy of the retrograde cycles, which I'll talk about, and some of the other themes of this lunar month, this lunar month could really bring great results to your life. But it's something that I see that understanding astrology is, in a way, it's a practice. It can really be an addition, a positive addition to your own personal spiritual practice, your meditation practice, your personal development, your inner work. And actually, this lunar month is amazing for being really honest about what's going on inside you. Because when we have retrograde cycles, and right now, and for most of this month, Venus will still be in her retrograde cycle. And as I've shared with you guys in last month's lunar monthly astrology snapshot, Venus retrograde is a time to withdraw, to go within, to reassess and to reorganize everything to do with Venus. Venus rules over your relationships. Venus is love. Yeah, it's like what connects us with each other is love. Venus is like the energy that brings and weaves together the beauty of being a human. Venus rules over those parts of our lives that make us feel really good. Venus rules over Libra and Taurus. Libra is the scales, the relationships, how everything balances each other out ultimately, and how everything relates to everything. And Taurus is this beautiful, earthy sign, and it's all about the tangible beauty of life. It's sensual. Taurus is about the quality materials, foods, resources. And with Venus being the ruler over these two planets, you can see these are all the things when Venus is moving harmoniously through our lives. It's easy to enjoy being a human. It's easy to love. And when she goes retrograde, it is seen as though she is going through an underworld process, because she's literally, right now as I'm filming this, she's still not visible to the naked eye. And she has been the evening star. And now she's going down into the underworld. She's not visible. And you can imagine how our ancestors would have observed this cycle. And she will reappear again approximately on, I don't know exactly when she'll reappear, but I know she turns direct on September 3rd. So I need to look at when she will become visible again. I think it's around this time, but she will be visible again as the morning star. So if you're an early bird, around September 3rd, get up and have a look. Or do a Google search on when she will be visible in your area. There's going to be somebody that knows. Astronomers are really into this cycle as well. But you can see how the myth and the story could be woven around this beautiful planet, that the goddess Venus goes into the underworld, not visible, to reappear as something different in the morning, the morning star. And then that cycle flips the next time. And so this is a time where everything about Venus, it's love that weaves everything together, is going through a massive transformation, and it's in Leo, the sign of the heart, of leadership, of sovereignty. And so there's been this powerful journey of the goddess going into the underworld, the queen, you could say, Leo, and having to sit with something very deep in herself. I have honestly observed so many women, especially. Actually, no, I've seen this in males as well. I've seen people really have to reassess their own feminine energy, the way that women relate to each other, the sisterhood. Venus also rules over the sisterhood, and how this Venus retrograde cycle has really been a time where people from our past have maybe resurfaced, maybe even memories. But this is only happening so it can heal, so that we can open our hearts, so that we can really truly know what is truly in our heart. And so with that retrograde happening, and then the new moon this month happening in Leo, with Venus only 5 degrees away from the new moon, that is not a coincidence. This is a time to really feel into and recognize, observe what has Venus been teaching you? What have you discovered about yourself, about your relationships? What have you been reorganizing, even around finances and your resources? Remember, Venus rules over Taurus. How sustainable is your life? How loving is your life? And when we get to the new moon in Leo, conjunct Venus, retrograde, this will be a time where whatever's been coming up for healing may be able to be soothed almost, or you may be able to get clear on what needs to emerge, now that you are more aware of what needs to heal. Because remember, Venus won't be direct yet at this new moon, but this new moon will be a moment to be honest about what you've been learning, what Venus has been teaching you, what has been healing, what has been resurfacing from 8 years ago when Venus was last retrograde in Leo. Look at the synchronicities, look at the cycles, notice the patterns. And so then at this new moon, you get to push the energy towards something new, to boost and renew some of or rejuvenate some of your intentions, especially when it comes to all of those themes I've mentioned to do with Venus. What wants to grow? Focus on it. Uranus will be trine Venus at this new moon, and Uranus is all about these insights that can lead to breakthroughs. It's those moments where it just happens instantly and everything has changed irrevocably forever. This could really happen. But there are some big retrograde cycles. So we will have, I'm just checking some dates here. Just after this new moon, Mercury will be going retrograde, and Saturn is still retrograde, Neptune is retrograde, and this lunar month, Jupiter will turn retrograde. So there will be a lot of retrograde energy. And as I was sharing earlier, retrogrades are always a time to turn the energy inwards, to stop looking externally out in the world, but to actually internalize all that's been going on. So they won't all be retrograde at the same time, because Venus will turn direct, but we're coming in. She'll still be in the shadow, even at the full moon in Pisces 2 weeks after, on the 30th, 31st of August. Look, yes, Venus will be moving direct, but she won't be super strong. So we really have a lot of this get real, focus inwards, take responsibility for your side of the story. What is actually happening in you that's contributing to your relationships not working, or your finances, or career. These really are times where you can actually do a very honest internal audit. It will be rewarded this lunar month, actually, and in the coming weeks. to do this internal investigation. What is it that I am blocking or distorting? What are my distorted views and perceptions? What is it that's in the way of my relationships healing? What is in the way of my finances being more stable? There's a really strong energy, and we'll have Mercury turn retrograde in Virgo on the 23rd of August, 24th, depending where you are in the world. And that will be for a few weeks until September 14th, 15th, again in Virgo. And Saturn will be in an opposition to the Sun on the 27th of August. So that's an intense, it's only active for a few days, but in context of all these other cycles, this is really this kind of reality check energy, but it's about precision, being precise. Mercury retrogrades have honestly become one of my most favorite cycles because it's always a time to me where I get the sense where you can just stop being consumed by these grabs for our attention, and we can just pull back and go in and actually have a break from connecting and socializing and emails. And it's to me, I always see it as a time where I've got permission to have a break. I always have clients not show up, at least one, during Mercury retrograde, and I've learned to embrace this and go, okay, take some time for me. Take some time out of the noise. But as I was saying before, the way these cycles are set up, if you can get really precise, so Mercury retrograde in Virgo it's all about precision. It's all about seeing the details clearly. And what amplifies the precision is that Mars will be in Virgo, which is actually really precise, whilst Mercury, as soon as Mercury starts its retrograde cycle in Virgo. And also the Sun will be in Virgo. So this will, once Mercury turns retrograde, so this will be a time of penetrating really deeply into yourself. How do you communicate? What are you saying? Remember, Venus retrograde, all of this relationship healing wanting to happen. This Mercury retrograde cycle with the Sun-Saturn opposition is really saying people can't read your mind. Not really. Like, they can probably tune in, and there is like morphic resonance where we do say the same thing at the same times, or we have similar things. But really, I've learnt over the years, no one really knows what you're thinking. Not really. Even if they tuned in, they still don't really know. It's still a guessing game. And I see in my clients and in my own life that when people don't communicate clearly to each other, the other person's left making up stories in their mind about what they think they're thinking. And this is where every relationship will break down. Every single one, not just romantic, all of your interpersonal relationships. And this lunar month is saying, where can you speak a bit more? Where can you get a bit clearer? Where can you be more precise in your communication to really enable the people close to you to know what's going on, to know what you need, to be able to offer you appropriate, more precise support? Really don't leave people alone with thoughts about you, but be measured in how you communicate. Really honor these cycles. I'm telling you, this is such a great month to do this reality check, to allow some beautiful healing in your relationships, your finances, but get really clear, be precise, communicate your needs really precisely. Like, again, don't be dramatic. Being overly emotional will not be rewarded this lunar month, but really being precise. Sorry, I've said that word so many times. Precise and clear. And then as you're embracing this Mercury retrograde, preparing for Jupiter to go retrograde, Venus retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, this is a time where as you get clearer and you're communicating what you need to others or yourself, this is a time to get really specific about what steps you need to take to move forwards. And it's this feeling of, don't try to change your whole destiny right now. Take steps, small ones, but be very clear on what direction they're moving towards. When there's a lot of retrograde energy, it really is like the rubber band pulling back so it can build more power to release again. And at this time, pulling back, getting precise, taking some small steps, but know that it's got this energy behind it that over the coming months, there'll be a momentum building up when all planets go direct again towards the end of the year. We've got some wonderful eclipses coming up before that. But then the rubber band gets released and you're on track. The momentum is going. We have lots of retrogrades every year. It's normal. And it's usually towards the end of the year. So really, this is, we have all that direct energy at the beginning of the year. And then by the end of the year, it's like, let's pull back. This time of the year for both southern and northern hemispheres is weird. It's the end of winter. It's the end of summer. There's been weird weather in most places in the world. So it's like retrograde. So it's a bit like, okay, I can either feel frustrated that I can't go outward, or I can turn it in and get really clear, precise on which way I want to go. What steps do I need to take? And that's where the Saturn opposite the sun on the 27th of August is going to really help you to just really zone in, focus in, zoom in on what needs to change in your life, and then take some steps. You can see that in at the new moon. And then at the full moon in Pisces, you can clear away what is being, what is in the way of taking those steps. Okay, you can really start carving out a path for yourself and just being prepared to take 3 good steps, take some action towards where you want to be, and small and intentional. By the time we get to the full moon in Pisces, I would say it's highly likely that there's a culmination of what's been coming up for you with the Venus retrograde cycle and this Mercury retrograde cycle. And I will say that if there's some big conversations that you need to have, try to wait until after Mercury turns direct on the 14th, 15th of September. Wait till the end of September if it can wait. If not, as I've said so much, really consider what you're saying. Be very, very disciplined with your communication until Mercury goes direct. That will really, really help. So at this Pisces full moon, so Pisces is the sign of compassion, forgiveness, empathy. Pisces is where the illusion of separation dissolves. And at this full moon, and it's a bit of a tense full moon, it's not really a light one, because it will be conjunct Saturn, who's still retrograde. So the moon will be in Pisces, Saturn retrograde Pisces, and Neptune still retrograde in Pisces. So there's still a lot of this energy that I've talked about in the last couple of months of dissolving the structures and everything that we thought was permanent and unchanging and solid. So that's still in process with retrograde cycles. So this full moon has this energy of potentially having some really clear insights into what is in the way of your communication being clearer, of being honest with yourself, of your relationships healing, what it is in you. This could be a really great full moon for a powerful reality check. I would recommend really sitting with the energy. Allow yourself to be with the complexity of humanity, of the people you love, of yourself. As we're getting clearer, we're coming down to the details, and we're seeing all the moving parts, but it can be really, really clear. And with this energy of Pisces being a time of forgiveness, time of compassion, full moon, this will be a beautiful time that as you're being super real, doing the reality check, that you can forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive the people you love, forgive life, forgive humanity right now for being flawed. Forgive everybody, everything, not to let everything off the hook. It's not denying where things have gone wrong, but it's that realization that actually we are all human. We are all flawed. We will all make mistakes. We all have. We've all hurt somebody, whether we meant to or not. And we've all been hurt. And this full moon is a beautiful time to just let go of the hurt. You don't need to keep carrying the past. When you can't forgive somebody, you keep them as a perpetrator. That means that by default, you are still the victim. And in a way, you keep yourself trapped in this cycle of being a victim of someone. And you can't be a victim over here and be super powerful in another area of your life. This is a powerful month to do reality checks and really allow some profound healing to happen. Forgiveness is for you. It's always for you. It's the end result of understanding the complexity, the fragility of humanity, the difficulty it is to being a human and to actually getting it right. Forgiveness is your understanding of that and your acceptance of that. And it sets you free. It really does. It's not a new age concept. It's real. So this full moon is going to be so beautiful as a time for you to release, forgive, and embrace the power of the deeper teachings of Pisces, the life lessons of Pisces, of compassion, of true empathy, of forgiveness, and ultimately unconditional love for yourself, for others. So you can see this is a really beautiful lunar month. There's a lot of potential for those insights and being able to see clearly where you need to go. And then the last piece that's I've spoken about, and I've written about this in the in my monthly astrology snapshot. You can subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my email list to receive this. I only send out these. I'm not sending out a lot of promotional emails. It's really these, and then every now and again I'll share something around discounts or like extra special astrology. That's all it is. So you can sign up and read about what I'm sharing and go deeper. The way I write is a little bit different to how I speak. So yeah, I love writing. So you can go check that out. But the Jupiter retrograde coming up on the 4th, 5th of September is about finding the spiritual wisdom within. So Jupiter is connected to our Dharma, and your Dharma is, in a way, it's your purpose, but it's not a thing that you're going to do. It's the way forwards. It's the path to evolution. It's the way of growth. It's the way of healing. And usually our Dharma is very clear when we stop projecting and we allow our lives to take us and we listen to the feedback. What do people ask for you to do? So Jupiter is connected to that. If you're into astrology, you can look at Jupiter's placement in your chart, house and sign, and any aspects. And you can start to get a sense of your Dharma. Where's the ultimate evolution for yourself? When Jupiter goes retrograde, this is a time to internalize. It's a time to go into your inner guru. Jupiter's also connected to the guru, the teacher, the wisdom of spiritual knowledge, or even if you're not into spirituality, of where can you develop and evolve in a beneficial way, in a positive way. So this is really about embracing, wholeheartedly what helps you to keep growing in this life. So Mercury will still be retrograde when Jupiter turns retrograde. Venus will be direct. I'd say she's probably starting to build up. Oh, she's only just turned direct, so there's a little bit of a crossover. But there'll be an opportunity with Jupiter retrograde to actually find the meaning of all that you've been working through, to in a way zoom out a little bit, and to because we're being asked to do this reality check, look at the details, be precise. But Jupiter's like, but keep the context, keep seeing the bigger picture, and have more faith in yourself and your own inner wisdom. Jupiter retrograde is the guru within. Your wisdom is within you, and you cannot access that if you never look inwards, if you never sit with a ritual and tune in or meditate or practice true mindfulness. So if you're still watching, thank you. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. It's the only way that the channel can grow. And please like this. And if you enjoy what I'm saying here and you feel this nudge to go deeper, please check out my Patreon. The link is under the video. Soulful Guiding is my website, my Patreon. Check it out, because I'm creating horoscopes so that you can get a sense of exactly what this means for you. And I'm also sharing the esoteric meanings. It starts at only $8 Australian a month. It's like a magazine subscription. I create meditations. In my higher tier, I discuss mindfulness, and meditation, and like we're going to start doing some beautiful practices together. So check it out if you're interested. But please enjoy this month. If you feel like you're walking through glue, then honestly, that's kind of making sense. Or if you feel like you're walking through glue, it's because you're trying to push against the actual cycle, and it's not going to work. So embrace it, do some ritual, let go, forgive everyone, get real, communicate, and yeah, you'll get something really, really amazing out of this time. Okay, I'm sending you all love, and I will see you all again really soon.